The Kentucky Valley lay shrouded in morning mist, the kind that made the hills seem like gentle waves frozen in time. Clara Morgan gripped the steering wheel of her old sedan as she navigated the winding road, a crumpled letter resting on her lap. It had been tucked away in her grandmother's attic, and its words were mysterious and insistent. Find the house that remembers. She had heard whispers about the valley's forgotten corners, but nothing prepared her for the sight of the house. It was a towering Victorian relic, its paint peeling, shutters swinging in the wind, and windows darkened with age. The porch sagged in the middle, and the wooden steps groaned under her weight as she approached. A chill ran down Clara's spine, not from the cold, but from an unexplainable sense that the house was waiting, not empty, waiting. The moment Clara stepped inside, the air changed. Dust motes shimmered in the dim sunlight, moving like tiny dancers around the room. Every step she took made the old floorboards creak, echoing into the cavernous hallways. Then it happened. A soft, haunting whistle. Gentle, almost melodic. Clara froze, her heart skipping a beat. It wasn't the wind. She turned toward the sound. Empty walls stared back. The whistle repeated, this time lingering in the corners like a sigh. It was as though the house itself exhaled, greeting her, testing her presence. Clara's curiosity overpowered fear. She whispered, "Hello," and the whistle responded, lingering like a memory she almost recognized. Exploring the attic, Clara found piles of quilts, old furniture, and a small leather-bound diary tucked beneath a rotting chest. Dust coated the cover, and its edges were frayed, but the handwriting inside was delicate and deliberate. Flipping through the pages, she read the words of a girl named Lillian, who had lived there in the late 1800s. The house knows our stories. It remembers us even when we are gone. Clara felt an electric thrill. Could the whispers and whistles she had heard be tied to memories captured in the walls, in the very wood itself? That night, Clara slept in the guest room. The house was silent at first, but just as the clock struck midnight, the whistle returned, clearer, more intentional. She jolted awake and saw a faint, ethereal figure in the corner. It was a woman in a flowing white dress, her face pale, eyes deep with sorrow. Clara's breath caught. Who, who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. The figure tilted her head, a faint smile playing at the corner of her lips, and vanished like mist. Only the soft whistle lingered, carrying an almost human quality of grief and longing. Clara understood then. The house wasn't haunted by malice. It was haunted by memory. The next morning, Clara drove to the nearest farmhouse, seeking answers. An elderly man named Mr. Hawkins, with weathered skin and kind eyes, listened intently. "They say that house remembers," he said, adjusting his hat. "Every person who's lived there leaves a piece of themselves. It's whistling. It's not anger. It's joy, sorrow, memory. Some call it haunted, but I call it alive." Clara nodded, absorbing his words. For the first time, she felt that the house might be a guardian of stories rather than a relic of fear. Returning to the attic, Clara devoured Lillian's diary. She discovered the girl had fallen in love with Thomas, a neighboring farmer's son. Their love was forbidden by families entrenched in old rivalries. When Thomas was sent away for war, Lillian's heart had broken. She had written pages full of longing and sorrow, her pain etched into the house itself. Clara felt the sadness radiate through the wood, as though every creak carried Lillian's heartbreak. She whispered softly to the walls, "I see you, Lillian. I see your love." As days passed, the house's melodies shifted. No longer just sorrowful, the whistles occasionally carried a gentle cheer, a hint of laughter echoing down the halls. Clara realized the house responded to her care, sweeping floors, dusting shelves, and leaving small gifts where forgotten memories had gathered dust. For the first time, she felt the house was alive with gratitude. She laughed softly at the corners, and the house seemed to whistle in return, its tone lighter, warmer, almost playful. While repairing a section of peeling wallpaper, Clara discovered a hidden photograph behind a loose plank. It depicted Lillian and Thomas, smiling, holding hands in a sun-drenched garden. Beneath it, a small note. "We are never truly gone when someone remembers us." Clara's hands trembled. For over a century, the house had preserved their story, waiting for someone to honor it. She placed the photograph on the mantel where sunlight hit it, illuminating the love that had endured despite time. One stormy evening, the house's whistle changed abruptly, sharp and mournful. Clara froze, heart racing, as she glimpsed a shadowy figure in the mirror, a man with weary eyes and a face etched with regret. It was Thomas. His expression mirrored the sorrow of a life interrupted, a love lost. The house, she realized, carried their regrets like invisible threads connecting past to present. Clara whispered to the empty room, "Your story will be remembered." The following week, Clara invited her friend Samuel, a local historian, to explore the house with her. He was fascinated. "This isn't haunted," he said, running a hand along a banister. "It's a living archive. Every creak, every mark, every whistle, it's memory speaking." Together, they uncovered letters hidden behind walls, small trinkets tucked in forgotten drawers. Every discovery produced a new whistle, each melody reflecting a past emotion: joy, sorrow, longing, love. Clara smiled, realizing the house had found someone willing to listen. For the first time in over 100 years, it was truly being heard. As days turned into weeks, Clara began sleeping in different rooms, guided by the whispers and whistles of the house. Each night brought a new melody, sometimes light-hearted and playful, sometimes solemn and heavy with longing. It became clear to her, the house responded to attention, to care. The more she honored its past, the more it revealed itself. Dusty corners transformed into hidden wonders. Forgotten rooms became sanctuaries of memory. Clara realized she was no longer a visitor. She was part of the house's story, a bridge between its past and the present. She felt an unspoken connection, as if the house had recognized her heart as one willing to listen. One rainy afternoon, Samuel's persistence paid off. Behind a tattered curtain in the basement, he discovered a small hidden door. It led to a room untouched by time, filled with portraits, letters, and trinkets. Tiny fragments of life preserved carefully over a century. The walls were adorned with notes in faded ink, drawings of families, children laughing, and scenes of everyday life. Each artifact told a story, each frame a heartbeat captured in time. Clara whispered, "It's a memory vault, a treasure chest of lives once lived." The house seemed to hum in agreement, whistles echoing softly in the corners. One stormy evening, a sharp, urgent whistle pierced the house. Clara jumped, heart pounding. She followed the sound to the basement stairs where a floorboard had loosened dangerously. Beneath it lay a rotting beam that could have collapsed at any moment. Clara shivered, realizing that the house had warned her. Its whistles weren't just echoes of memory. They were warnings, attempts at protection. For the first time, she truly understood. This house was alive. It cared for those who cared for it. As Clara tended to the house, she began to understand the deeper lesson it carried. Each whistle, each creak, each hidden artifact reflected the lives it had sheltered: joy, sorrow, regret, love, and care. She realized that memories were not meant to haunt, they were meant to teach. They reminded her of the importance of attention, of kindness, and of love that transcends time. In tending to the house, Clara learned that even small acts of remembrance could preserve a life beyond death. With Samuel's help, Clara began restoring the house. They repaired windows, polished floors, and repainted walls. They planted a garden reminiscent of the one Lillian had once tended. Every morning, the house greeted them with cheerful whistles. It was alive with gratitude, resonating with the echoes of care and love they had poured into it. Neighbors began to notice. Children peered in from the road, curious. Soon, laughter filled the halls, first tentative, then vibrant. The house had become a living bridge between past and present. While cleaning the attic, Clara discovered a final letter, addressed simply, "To the one who remembers." It was Lillian's handwriting, fragile and precise. "If anyone finds this, know that love and memory outlast all sorrow. Hold us in your heart, and we will live forever." Clara's eyes filled with tears. The house had been waiting for someone to honor its past, to carry its stories forward. She understood now why the letter had called to her, why her grandmother had kept it. That night, the house whistled a long, gentle melody. It was neither sorrowful nor urgent, but serene and harmonious, echoing through every corner. Clara closed her eyes, realizing the house was at peace. Its past owners were remembered. Their love, their regrets, their joys, all had been honored. For the first time, she felt a profound connection to history, to humanity, and to the invisible threads that bind us across generations. Inspired, Clara wrote a book chronicling the house, its melodies, and the stories it preserved. She invited visitors from far and wide to experience the house themselves, to hear the whistles, touch the artifacts, and feel the lives of those who had come before. The house became a sanctuary of memory. Every visitor left with a sense of reverence, a reminder that the past is never truly gone when someone chooses to remember. The story of the house spread, inspiring many to honor their own forgotten histories. One quiet morning, Samuel noticed something extraordinary. The familiar lullaby whistle, Lillian's tune, was joined by another melody. Soft, joyful, and rhythmic, it was Clara's own heartbeat, mingled with the house's song. The house had accepted her. She was no longer an outsider, no longer merely a visitor. She had become part of its living history. The past and present were intertwined, and Clara understood that the legacy of love, care, and memory could continue through her actions. Years later, children ran through the restored Kentucky Valley home, laughing as the house whistled in harmony with their footsteps. Clara stood on the porch, watching the wind sweep across the valley, carrying soft melodies through the trees. The house had whispered its past owners' joys, sorrows, regrets, and love. But it had also taught a timeless lesson. Attention, kindness, and remembrance can keep lives alive long after they are gone. As the sun set, a gentle whistle floated through the valley, a reminder that no life, no love, is ever truly forgotten.